The elephant in the room, Eusebius. Been doing a lot of research recently about the origin of the Gospels and early texts like Papias, Clement, all these kind of guys, Alexandria, all these early guys. And it's incredible of what they say about the Gospels and what I'm learning, what they do say and what they don't say, the five W's and the H, all that's it. Whew, is one, the elephant in the room is Eusebius. So Eusebius lives roughly in the 3rd century. He works in the court, or works loosely for the Constantine and his government that he's setting up. Who, if you know a little bit about church history, that is the time that the church kind of got pulled in and meshed with the state. And Constantine went from an empire that was actively persecuting Christians to tolerance to, in the end, he was setting up churches, he was paying for huge Bibles, all this wonderful stuff. And Eusebius is at that time. And he writes Eusebius church history, or the church history, which is incredible. It tells us so much. But this is the elephant in the room. Most of what we know about the early church and the Gospels in particular, we only know because Eusebius recorded it in his writings. Let me say that again. All the early church, all the early witnesses to the origin and the authorship of the Gospels, we only know, most of them we only know from the recording of Eusebius. So he really is a gatekeeper. He is the one which everything kind of comes in and squeezes through his little lens of how he understands where we got the gospel. And why I bring this up is we need to acknowledge this. This is the elephant in the room. We can't say it all just developed organically. We get the full picture. We know what happened because most of it we are peering through that small little peephole of Eusebius because he is the one who's given us the information. That being said, as much as I know from Eusebius, I don't think he was motivated to guide the ship. He was not trying to write a church history to get the church to see things a certain way in regards to the Gospels. Much more, he was just trying to confirm what was already happening. He was telling you where the ship was in the development of the church in the Gospels, its scriptures, not trying to guide the ship of where it was to go. He was just merely trying to present to Constantine and the rest of the Roman Empire that the church was united and how it developed to who it was, that it would be a great fit to bring the Roman Empire together. And he could do that, and he could show you how to do that because the church was a great fit to do that. He was not trying to tell you, oh, I think Matthew wrote Matthew, therefore I'm going to collect all the information to present that. Much more, he was doing that hindsight 2020 thing. He was like, all right, so currently in the church, true today as it was 1700 years ago, Matthew wrote Matthew, Mark wrote Mark, Luke wrote Luke, John wrote John, and these are our four trustworthy gospels. So there are other church fathers who had kind of gotten to us to that point where those are the ones that we wanted. So Eusebius is just looking back and says, oh, yes, so Papias, he gives us some valuable information. Let's record him. Clement of Alexandria, valuable information. Let's record him. There's so many other more. Mine is drawing a blank of which ones now. Of early church writers who give us information of where the Gospels came from. And Eusebius brings those together and says, aha, we've known this all along. This is our picture. This is our development. So, but we must be aware of that. That's probably not entirely true. He is merely saying, from where I stand, this is what I see. So, from where we stand, we need to judge, was Eusebius seeing correctly? And is there any way to get around him if he wasn't? Or even to see through him, but see better? We don't have to just write him off. I think Eusebius is a trustworthy witness. I think he did his homework. I think he worked hard to present a good, accurate view of the source of where the Gospels came from. But because of the time when he lived in history, it very much limited what we see beyond him. Do you think it's hard to Google things that Google doesn't want you to see? Eusebius is the same thing. He is the gatekeeper. He is the search engine of the early church because most of what is recorded is what he recorded, and we know nothing else. The elephant in the room, Eusebius.